Hey everyone, sac passe. Welcome back to Civil Convo with Rachel. Today we are diving into a topic that's making headlines, sparking a whole lot of debates, and impacting our wallets oftentimes without us even realizing it. We are talking about tariffs, folks. Now, you might remember about a month or so ago, we discussed the possibilities of empty store shelves due to something called tariff. But what exactly is a tariff anyway? How does this whole thing even work? And more importantly, how does it affect you, me, and our businesses? So let's break it down, shall we? What in the world is a tariff? A tariff at its core, it's pretty simple. It's basically a tax. Think of it as a toll a country put on goods that are being imported, meaning they are coming in from another country. It is a form of trade barriers that can be used for a few reasons. It can be used to protect industries right here at home, or to generate some government revenue, or even used as leverage in trade negotiations. Sound pretty good, right? A little extra cash, protecting local jobs, all good things, right? Now, not so fast, because tariff can also raise prices for you and me, the consumers. They can reduce the quantity of goods available and actually increase costs for businesses. Not so good now, is it? And get this tax, it is levied right at the border. Now, in spite of what you might have heard on social media around all around the water cooler.
Listen up, if you don't know what a tariff is.
So much money, they can't do anything with the budget. A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax on us. No. It's a tax on a foreign country. It's a tax on a country that's ripping us off and stealing our jobs.
And I'm going to make a couple of critical points here that often gets misunderstood. First, let me be super clear. This is not about politics, folks. We are talking strictly economics, pure and simple. And second, this is the big one. The cost of tariff is actually paid by consumers on the country imposing the tariff, not by the exporting country. Mind blown, right? Think about it this way. The company in China, India, or wherever is not paying the US government directly. Nope. The importer here in the US paid that tax, and then they pass that cost on to you, the consumer, in the form of higher prices. Sneaky, huh? So, how do tariff work in practice? Well, there are generally two main types. First up, we have specific tariff, which is a fixed fee. Imagine this, a flat $1,000 tariff on every imported car, regardless of whether it's a beat up old clunker or a luxury sports car. It is a set amount no matter what. Then there is an ad valorem tariff, which is based on the item value. So if that car is worth $30,000 and there is a 10% tariff, that's an extra $3,000 on top. Now the cost of that car just jumped to $33,000. Ouch. Now, here is the kicker, and this is where it gets a little tricky. You don't see tariff on your receipts, folks. They are not like sales tax that get added at the end. Instead, they are already embedded in the price of the goods. So, whether it's an imported banana that traveled thousands of miles away, or even a car built right here in the US, but using imported steel for its frame, that tariff cost is already baked into the price you paid. It is a bit of a hidden cost, isn't it? Especially when you consider how incredibly global our supply chains are today. Parts, material, even design can come from all over the world before they land in your shopping cart. So, how do tariff impacts us, the consumer? Well, it boils down to two main things. First, we just discussed they did increase the cost of what we buy. Remember that added cost that companies pay as a tax to our government, it often most likely get passed right along to us. Just last week, an analysis by economists at Goldman Sachs, they found that consumers initially bore only about 10% of the cost of tariffs, but that share had risen to about 40% after just 3 months. Let me say that again. Initially, consumers, you and me, were paying only 10% of the cost of tariff, but that share has risen in just the past 3 months to 40%. American companies shoulder most of the rest of the tariff burden, with foreign exporters only paying 20% of that cost. Second, tariff can actually reduce the range of products available to us in the US. If importing certain goods become too expensive due to those tariffs, company might just stop bringing them in altogether. So you might find yourself with fewer choices at the store. In essence, tariff could and will increase our overall cost of living. Not exactly a fun thought, is it? So, if consumers are paying more and potentially have fewer choices, what about businesses? One of the long-standing arguments for tariff is that they protect domestic companies from foreign competitors who might be able to offer lower prices. Alexander Hamilton even made this argument way back when, suggesting tariff would make US industries more productive. But here is where Professor Meisner, an economist from UC Davis, recent research threw a wrench in that idea. He studied US tariffs from the late 1800s and found something quite surprising. Tariff did not make businesses more productive. In fact, they had the opposite effect. A 10% increase in tariff actually reduced domestic productivity by a whopping 25 to 35%. It seems to me like tariff might actually weaken the incentives for companies to innovate and streamline their processes, which are crucial for keeping productivity high. And in today's globalized world, the picture for businesses get even more complicated. Wow, manufacturing share of US GDP has decreased, but a lot of American jobs still depend indirectly on manufacturing. Even if that manufacturing happen overseas, we might design, engineer, and market products here, but if tariffs affect the cost of those goods made abroad, those jobs can still feel the impact, and so are our wallets. It is a truly interconnected world, isn't it? So, the takeaway here, my friends, tariffs are a complex tool with far reaching consequences. While they aim to protect industries and potentially create jobs, they often lead to higher prices for consumers, fewer choices, and can even stifle innovation in domestic businesses. Understanding tariff means looking beyond the immediate intentions and considering the broader, often hidden impacts on our daily lives and the intricate web of the global economy. As all the hard data is starting to filter out, here at Civil Convo, we will absolutely keep having those hard, sometimes uncomfortable convo. Thanks for watching. Join us next time on Civil Convo with Rachel. Have an amazing, amazing day.